the Fresno Focus Radio Hour. This is the No Focus Radio Hour. Comedy and insight from the greatest minds in Fresno. A Lightomine Media production. That's right. This is the No Focus Radio Hour, the #1 independent podcast in the Central Valley. Thank you for listening, and thank you for telling a friend. The No Focus Radio Hour is available anywhere podcasts can be found, including YouTube, your home smart speaker, Spotify, Audible. I mean, literally everybody, everywhere, for everybody. So remember, subscribe, leave a review. It helps others discover our show. And while you're reviewing, keep in mind that 5 stars is the correct number of stars. If you enjoy the show, please share it with your friends. But if you hate it, share it with your enemies. Check out our site, nofocusradio.com, for exclusive content. There you can vote on Don's polls. Find us on social media at NoFocusRadio. Find the rest of our stuff at lightominemedia.com.
You ready, Don?
I can't be with you, you can't be true. And I know just what I got to do. Round running to my favorite podcast. Running to the Fresno Focus Radio Hour.
Wow, that's right. This is the No Focus Radio Hour, the #1 independent podcast in the Central Valley. It's made for those who live in the Central Valley, for those who miss the Central Valley, for those who long to live in the Central Valley, and for those who...
already made and already broke their New Year's resolution in the Central Valley.
Ooh, as always, we have our beautiful cast of characters. We actually have the whole team here from the start. We have with us Marty Stupidasso.
Hey, you're mixing it up. It's really great to be here. I'm so glad that we're all finally here because I miss Don a lot. He's like saved me through a lot of stupid things in my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he always knows people, and so
do.
yeah, he's great. Love him to death.
He knows people.
Those people.
I was
over there- but
dying
he's over
one
there
time, and he
playing-
goes, "Hey, go see Dr. Galanders. He could fix you." I had the same thing. He fixed me. He fixed me right up. My
right.
wife was so happy and impressed.
Well,
Because you had doctors telling you it's most likely cancer.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, no, you're
exactly,
going
yeah.
to die. We
It's
got
on
to do all these
radiation.
tests. We're going to stick this big wand up your wazoo. And I go, what is that going to do? Nothing. We just like to do it.
Well, I'm looking over. I'm trying to see what Don's fixing right now. It looks like he's fixing something.
Just
What's going
noticed
on
how
down there under
smudgy
the
my
table?
cell phone looked, so I'm cleaning my cell phone case.
Oh, okay.
With his underwear.
So that was Don Schlicks, and I am, who am I? The doorman.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Man.
And then behind the knobs over there, behind the control panel,
Mr. Distraction.
one of our
Sorry, I'm
favorite.
distracted.
Yeah. One of our favorite. One of the most beautiful of all time.
Thank you. So beautiful.
Yeah.
That's right. Mr.
We have Johnny.
Johnny
Knobs.
Johnny, I got a question. I pulled up to the podcast studio, noticed that your single vehicle is in the middle of your driveway.
Yes.
I've never seen that before.
What happened?
I did that. I did that on purpose for you guys. So
Your wife made you mad?
No. That way you had sidewalk to walk up to. You didn't have to walk through the wet grass.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
took it to mean that
I
I
didn't
couldn't
know what
park
that
in front
was.
of your house because your wife wasn't home, so I parked further away.
Oh, no, I
but thank you.
apologize. I did it literally because you know when there's both cars there, you have to walk through the wet grass.
Oh, okay.
So my wife was leaving, and so I moved my car. That way you had sidewalk to walk.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
it
through the
took me-
grass anyway.
But I went through the grass. Yeah.
Did you really?
I went through your neighbor's grass.
You just walk
I
right
can't get
through
through your grass. I got to go through your neighbor's.
That's so funny. I apologize. I should. I do want to pour new concrete, so you guys have a walkway up to the studio. Anyways, thank you all for listening. We got a lot to talk about today.
A mouthful.
So much. Starting with the Pedasso's trip to Disneyland.
What? Yeah.
How'd it go? I heard you went for Christmas. Was it busy?
Yeah. So for Christmas, we just told the kids, okay, we're not going to give out presents. We'll give out little presents, but we're going to go to Disneyland for 2 days. It'll be great.
Wow.
So, I had the best of intentions, like I wanted to be like Eric the doorman and go there, and I brought make videos of my kids enjoying Disneyland, because they're 14 and 16, and I don't think I'll ever get this opportunity again. So I brought a GoPro, and I bought my Panasonic GH5.
Okay.
And my kids are horrible.
Really?
Yeah, they ran me ragged throughout the entire park. So it was cold, and during the afternoon, it was super crowded.
What were the dates that you were there?
We were there a Monday and Tuesday.
Before Christmas?
Before Christmas.
Yeah, before Christmas. And it was cold. And in the afternoon, it was busy. And my kids just wanted to go on all these rides and all this stuff. And me and my daughter went on Splash Mountain, which was a mistake because we got cold. And
You got wet?
We got wet and cold.
Yeah, but that's
so we got
closing
wet.
in like January, so that's the last you'll be.
Right. The last we'll be able to do it because they're changing it around.
I'm changing it to
So I got
Tiana's.
wet, and my knee was giving me trouble because my own knee's got a little bit of arthritis in it, and it was just giving me a bad time. So I was all juiced up on industrial strength ibuprofen and CBD gummies.
Okay.
In order to get through this event. So we would just go from ride to ride, and we were just like always on the move. We never went back to the hotel room to rest, so I never got any video done. And
Did you stay at a Disney hotel?
No, we stayed at the Marriott across the street
There you go,
from the
smart
entrance.
man. There you go.
But I quickly learned that if you're going to Disneyland, don't take your camera, don't take your big camera, use your iPhone because the new iPhones, like I got a new iPhone, and it does great pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Great video.
So I quickly just ditched my camera at the hotel room because the iPhone was doing a better job.
Do you have a gimbal? A gimbal for the iPhone?
No.
You should get one.
I didn't do any video.
You should get one though. I mean, and just carry it with you, and then that way you have steady video. And whenever.
But I took an occasional picture, but we were just running ragged. And they took me from park to park, and we were there from opening till midnight.
Now, they had a lot of the Christmas stuff going on, right? So you got to see like celebrations and parades and all that.
We don't do parades.
Oh, you guys don't do parades.
No.
That's the best time to get on the rides is when people are.
That's
watching.
why we don't do parades.
Now, did you guys get the Genie Plus thing? You had to pay extra for that, or?
Yeah, so we got some Fast Pass, not the Genie Plus thing, but
What's
we got
Genie
some Fast
Plus?
Passes.
Is that like Fast Pass?
Oh,
Yeah,
the tickets are totally different now. You just don't buy a ticket to get in. You could buy a ticket to get into one park, a ticket to get into both parks, a ticket with a Fast Pass connected to it, a ticket with like.
Well, no, this is called Genie Plus. Is the Fast Pass? It's Genie Plus. So what they do here's the system now with Disneyland. So Disneyland has a ticket. If you want to buy a ticket, it depends on the day and everything else, and prices are constantly changing. So if you were to buy a ticket, what he's saying, you can buy a ticket for a day, and then if you add the Genie Plus, what that does is that gives you, it's like a Fast Pass to most rides, but the real high end rides, the ones that are really popular, like Rise of the Resistance, Radiator Springs, and stuff, you have to pay extra on top of the Genie Plus. The Genie Plus you can buy.
Go on the ride?
To get a. This is the fast pass thing. Otherwise, you're waiting in line.
This is a nightmare.
Oh, it is because it's just money on top of money. So let's say you go there and you have to. So let's say you buy a ticket and you're like, well, we're only here a day. We got it. I'm going to ride the favorite rides I want to do. I don't want to wait in line. So then you buy the Genie Plus. Depending on the day, the price fluctuates. So you should buy it with your ticket if you need it. That's about $25, I think. Extra.
I'm trying to look at their website. This is called Disneyland. It says Unleash the Magic of Disney Genie Service. This is literally maybe 8, 9, probably 10 pages long, trying to explain to me
the magic.
Lightning Lane, Disney Genie Experience, the Disney Plus service. Disney Genie Plus Lightning Lane entrances, Lightning Lane entrances.
And then you book each ride online. Like, I want to ride this line at 1 o'clock.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of like that where you can only do so many rides at a time, right?
You have to use this app to plan your day.
So,
yes,
you can use the app to plan your day. You don't have to.
And if you want to order food, a lot of times you have to use the app to order your
mobile
food.
order now.
Yeah, it's all mobile. Or a lot of it's mobile order to get your food. Like if you want that corn dog, you got to do the mobile order.
Mm-hmm. And
so
also,
you have to plan it out.
My friends who live in Southern California and have the season passes, no longer can you just show up and use your season pass. You have to call and make a reservation.
You have to make a reservation, yeah.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, so...
And if you make a reservation and do a no-show, they dock you, and you get banned for like a certain amount of time.
Well, if you do like 2 or 3 times in a row, then they ban you for like a week for making a reservation. So you can't just show up at the parks anymore. You actually have to make sure that there's time available to go in, whether you buy a ticket or if you're a season pass holder. But yeah, so anyway, we'll get back on to Stu's story, but yeah, so you get the Genie service. So then if it's a ride or Rise of Resistance, you have to buy Genie Plus, but that doesn't include Rise of Resistance. You have to buy that separate, and that's probably another $20. I mean, 15 to 20 bucks.
So you buy your ticket.
You don't.
And then you buy Genie Plus.
This is if you want the Fast Pass experience, yes.
Okay, but you buy your ticket to Disneyland, and then you buy Genie Plus.
Well, or you can buy it with your ticket, or you can buy it separate.
You have 2 purchases, and then if you want to go on the good rides, you buy another Fast Pass.
You have to buy for certain ones, like Rise of the Resistance, Radiator Springs.
You buy their own Fast Pass for those.
So you have to buy an extra one just for the special rides, the real high tier. It'd be
and
like
what happens if you don't get it? You're in line all day?
Yes.
Well,
You
here's
waste
the,
your
here's
whole
the
day.
funny
ride
thing.
3 rides in the day.
All day.
Here's the funny thing, though. The system's gotten so screwed up. They haven't. Basically, the system's so screwed up that the Fast Pass or the Genie Plus line has been longer than the standby line a lot of times.
Because everybody buys the Genie Plus.
They're not throttling it to where it's just like they're letting everybody do it.
Oh, because they want everybody to pay the money.
Yeah. So, but they're having a lot of complaints. They are doing some changing to it. Anyway, but your experience, it was cold.
Yeah. Also, the way to cheat a Fast Pass is we had 6 people inside of our group, and but only 4 of us had Fast Passes. But it's like Target when you go to check out. You know, you don't scan. So we were. There was a group of 6 people, and my daughter would scan like the 4 Fast Passes, and we would just all go in because
They wouldn't even say anything
no one was
to you?
watching us.
Oh, okay.
So they say, "Oh, you got multiple ones," and they were distracted and bored. So we would just all get in with So don't buy a
that's
Fast Pass
cool.
for everybody.
Yeah.
So, Stu, is Galaxy's Edge an entire area of the park?
Yes,
Yes,
it's
it
an
is.
entire area. It's amazing.
What did they take over?
It's a back lot. It's
yeah, it was
basically
back
they
lot.
extended it like the edge of the park. They extended it into some office buildings
It's like
and stuff. They wiped
behind
it out.
Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Yeah, it's behind.
There used to be like a barbecue restaurant back
Yeah.
there with like stables for horses and
Oh,
whatnot.
it's all interesting.
But
So it's-
Galaxy's Edge is amazing. They did a fantastic job with it.
So Galaxy's Edge isn't a name of a ride. That's an area.
No, Galaxy's the actual area is Batu. It's
Batu, yeah.
supposed to be. It's Black Spire Outpost. It's supposed to be like you're on a planet, like an outpost on a planet.
And the attention to detail is amazing.
They call it Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, it's the whole experience. So you go in there. You're supposed to see characters, and then there's 2 rides in there. There's the Millennium Falcon, and then there's the Rise of the Resistance one.
Did you do both rides?
Yes.
What do you think of Millennium Falcon?
I thought it would be awesome, and I didn't care for it much.
I didn't like it either. I went
Because
on it
it's
twice,
like you're
and
sitting in a
it's,
video. It's like you're sitting in a video game, and I think it's cool to walk in the Millennium Falcon because literally it
Yeah.
looks like you're inside the ship, like everything. The theming
You get to
is really
sit
good.
at the table where they had the chess set.
Yeah.
Is there holograms and whatnot?
No,
No,
but I mean,
holograms,
but
but
you're
you
still
gotta sit
sitting there.
there. Yeah.
But then and even in the cockpit of the Falcon, it looks really cool.
It does.
But the thing is that you each sit in a chair and you have a job to do. So a couple of people, the pilots in the front, and you got the laser guys behind them, and then behind that are the engineers. And you have to hit these buttons and do all this stuff, and you can't really enjoy the experience.
Because you're working.
Because you're working. I would rather just be a passive
Right,
Yeah.
like Star
rider.
Tours.
But
or
also,
something,
it's like it's like in a video game that guides you too much into a certain direction. Because I wrote it twice and it's the same both times.
okay.
Same things happen.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Rise of the Resistance?
Well, Rise of Resistance was awesome.
That was amazing. I went on there twice because at
Yeah.
night it was so cold the park would clear out and my kids didn't want to leave. So that's when we were able to go on a lot of the rides because everyone had left. So we got to go on Rise of the Resistance twice. And we got in a different car each time that goes in different areas.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. That's a great ride.
Same thing we did. We did one, and then when you go up the elevator to the AT-AT, that's up there. We went on the side view, and then we went in the front
That's
view.
what we did too. We
Yeah.
got lucky and did that.
It's a really cool theme. Now I can see. When you do it once, though, it's cool to ride it a couple of times. But I don't know if I would, like every time if I'd be like, oh, it's not going to be the same, generate the same feeling. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, I've done it, but it is a nice experience. The problem is they're having a lot of problems with that ride, I hear, and a lot of things are breaking down. I think in Florida, the cannons, were the cannons moving when you rode through them?
Yeah.
Okay, because in Florida they don't move anymore. They have to fix them. It's just they don't move. So there's a lot of things that are breaking that they just
I could
don't
see it
work
because it's
right.
a very technical ride.
Yeah, and that's why
they
that-
also have live actors in this ride who acting, I guess, is really
Imperial,
a thing.
yeah,
where they
Rebels
come in
Imperial.
and like every time, both times we moved, the live actors were just terrible.
Oh, really?
Man, you guys suck.
It was pretty good. The first time I went in there, they did a real good job. They were pretty right on cue. The second time, they were a little more jokey with it, but it was funny. They were straight, but they was still kind of funny.
Both times they tried to be overly serious, but the acting was
It was just bad. Yeah. Okay, so Galaxy's Edge is awesome. Yes.
right. And also, did blue milk or green milk?
I only tried the
Galaxy's
blue, and it was really good. I
Blue's
liked it.
good. The green's not that great.
Really?
What is it, a milkshake?
Can you know how Aunt Veru and Uncle Owen were drinking the blue milk?
Yeah.
At Galaxy's Edge, they have a bar thing where you can go and you can get either it's like a Frosty.
Okay.
They call it blue milk or green milk.
Interesting.
And so we tried both, but we preferred the blue.
Are they like fruit flavored or?
Yeah, it just has
Yeah,
fruit
it's
and different
kinda like-
stuff in it.
yeah.
Yeah, it tastes really good. But yeah, and did you see was Kylo Ren there? Was he out there on the? Now they have 2 sections like you saw on the map. There's like a Rebel base section, and
Yeah.
then there's also a what do they call it? It's not the Empire at that point. It's
Tatooine.
Well, not Tatooine, but it's basically the Empire, the other side. So you have
controlled area.
Yeah, Empire.
But even like when you go outside the bathrooms, they have these little two round sections that show the sewage coming out, and every so often the head of a monster would come up and look around like
the one-eyed monster from the garbage monster.
Yeah.
Did you do the lightsaber build or the droid build?
Actually, I didn't know about them until later. And I didn't know how the land was going to be. I thought maybe it sucks, but whatever. But I went in there and I was just enthralled with it. I loved it. I spent a lot of time in there. And so I didn't get to do the lightsaber build because you got to book it in advance and the droid build. But I saw the areas.
Okay.
But I ended up buying a lightsaber.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. What'd you get?
I bought Luke Skywalker's lightsaber.
The legacy sword?
The legacy sword,
lightsaber, yeah.
And then I quickly learned that Mark Hamill's left-handed.
Uh-oh.
So the lightsaber is set up to be turned on and off by a left hand.
Is it really? I didn't even realize that. Wow. That's cool.
But it was a good experience.
Did you go to California side?
Yeah, we did. And then we went on we got my son to go on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh. See, I won't do that one because it's the old Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
And it's the whole falling thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that.
Is it the same ride as Tower of Terror?
Exactly. Well, yeah, but the interior is all different. They have a lot of it's like you go into the collector from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
And you could see some old Disney things. Like at one point on the line, you could see the old abominable snowman from the Matterhorn.
Okay.
Like the one that's decommissioned. Yeah, they don't use anymore.
Oh, that's fun.
Is there still one in Matterhorn?
Oh, yeah.
But he's a lot more animatronic.
Harold.
He moves
Harold
a
is
lot
his
more.
name. Yeah, Harold.
You know him?
Yeah, I know him
good,
personally.
man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Anyway, yeah. So,
because I hated Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, what'd you think of Avengers Campus?
Well, no, it's when I was originally on it. Okay, so we were in Guardians of the Galaxy. I went on it, hated it because I hate falling. And then my daughter loved it. So you love your daughter. So we went on it again and again and again.
Oh my gosh!
So I was able to desensitize myself to it. So now I could like hold my arms up in the air.
Oh, okay.
And ball. And it was great.
You're okay.
Oh, yeah, I love it now. It's a fantastic ride. So
what about the Avengers Campus? What'd you think of that?
that was neat. We went on the Spider-Man thing where you like fling your hands out.
For the
and
webs?
web
I haven't
comes
tried
out.
that one yet.
It's
yeah.
okay. It's a bit confusing because there's so much going on.
Yeah. The campus itself, Avengers Campus, it just opened up for people that don't know. But anyway, it's been like, a little bit over a year now. But, I didn't really, it was small. There wasn't a lot to do
It's not
in
like
there.
Star Wars land.
Yeah, it's not very, I don't know. I don't care. They have the characters, but even that's kind of wonky. Yeah. Did you guys didn't see the, what's his name, Incredible Hulk come out in his spacesuit, did you?
No, we didn't.
Oh,
see
okay.
that.
He does that once in a while, but yeah.
Because, like I said, during the day it was super busy, and we were in lines a lot during the day. But at night it cleared out.
So, what was the Genie Plus? Let me ask this before we get off topic here. Was the Genie Plus you think worth it? Because we're thinking about going this year, coming year. Was it worth it?
How many people are you going with?
Just us three.
Just get 2 of the Genie passes.
Just get 2 and then sneak my daughter
sneak
in.
your daughter in because they don't pay attention. After you do a couple, you go in there, act like you're doing a bunch. They just hear ding. ding.
Were the lines really long? If you didn't have the standby lines, were they like over an hour?
It was kind of like what you said. In some rides, the standby and the Genie rides were equal. The Fast Pass rides were equal. It was weird. But we went on Indiana Jones.
It's like when the carpool lane is always going the same speed as the non-carpool lane.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of the carpool lane?
Yeah.
But you got to have the Disney app to really successfully navigate Disneyland so far. If you want to get food and all that other stuff, you got to get the app and use it.
Going back to what you're saying, Max, that's the problem, I think, is that they're, Disneyland, they're turning it into where you have to focus on the app so much you can't really just go and just
enjoy yourself.
Yeah, just walk around and enjoy
things. They give you a book of A, B, C, D, and E tickets, and you go out until you run out of tickets. It's like, you got to have this app. You got to do all this.
You got to plan your food.
It's too
you
much
plan
work.
Your
That's why I like Knott's, man. That's very fun. You just walk around, grab some corn. It's great.
See, now Knott's Berry, could you do that? I was thinking about going there too. Can you do that just in a day? Is it like a one-day experience?
Knott's Berry Farm is the best, man.
Yeah.
So good.
I haven't been there since I was a kid. Yeah,
but we did 2 days between California Adventure and Disneyland with the Pedasso family, and it took me like 2 days to recover.
Really?
It was like I wore my PF Flyers one day.
Not great for walking. Yeah.
No, they were.
Oh, were they?
They were great.
They don't have a lot of support, I would imagine.
I didn't. They're not fully broken in, so I got a big blister on the back of my foot.
Oh,
ouch. Yep.
Ouch.
That hurt.
Sucks.
Yeah.
And you guys just stayed across the street, so it's nice you could just walk.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Marriott.
Yeah. Really nice.
Nope.
He's choking on water.
Oh, you all right?
He got so excited
I was
about
coughing. Okay, because my allergies are acting up.
All right.
Oh, man.
Crazy. So what else you got here?
Okay.
You were going to talk about something.
Well, I do have something really quick.
Yeah, that's good.
Marty talked about his knee pain and how he used CBD gummies.
Yeah.
So there was a big study. I don't know if anybody saw this. I saw this on CNN and a couple other places. They did a big study on the pain relief from marijuana, and they determined that the pain relief comes from the belief that it helps. So it's basically the placebo effect.
No way.
Yes.
Is it really?
Yes.
A lot of times though, is they use CBD that has the gummies that have no CBD in them. Because I get mine
This
from
was a big study. This wasn't like they polled 100 people. I'm just throwing it out there because I've never thought, I was always skeptical and it's never helped me. So, but people who believe that it's going to help them, they say it helps them. So,
But there's also a
interesting.
lot more studies that show that its anti-inflammatory properties actually help with pain.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of studies.
Also,
that
it
show
depends on where you get your CBD. I know people who order CBD gummies, and when you're looking at the label, it has no CBD in it, or it has things that aren't going to work. Where I get my CBD from an actual place that sells marijuana.
It smells like marijuana.
Smells like
brother.
marijuana.
Yeah.
Smells and they sell
From a guy that
marijuana.
smells.
And they're I find them
Marijuana.
effectively chill me out, and it stops the inflammatory response.
I mean, do you get it local? Is it like a local thing, or?
I can, but usually whenever I'm in Memorial Bay, they have a really nice shop where you go there. It was an old bank, and you go there, and it looks like they're selling jewelry because they have everything under glass, and you have barista who will help you.
Man, he gets choked up about
He's
it.
chewing those
I'm very
CBDs
excited.
right now.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, you probably get
But
a flame.
also, I get some THC for sleep sometime too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so that's not good news. Well, I don't know. I guess it just comes down to what study you want to believe.
Anyways, Disneyland's a great place.
Yeah, Disneyland.
They have this place called Thriftland that's not too far away from Disneyland, and it's supposed to sell a lot of Disney paraphernalia really cheap because it's a thrift store.
Oh, wow.
And so we bought some things there.
How far is it? Like,
Problem
where-
is
I've
you
never
have to
heard of
take
it.
them home and wash them to get the marijuana smell out of them.
No.
Oh, this place smells. It just reeks of marijuana, but they have really good
And the
vibes.
fecal material.
No, it's all clean, but it's just...
What'd you get?
I didn't get anything. I didn't put anything.
It was
I
like
it.
an old
My
Mickey
daughter-
phone or something.
My daughter she likes Rugrats, so she bought a Rugrat sweatshirt, and then my wife bought a couple of Disney things. But they're good. It's thrift shop stuff, so it's inexpensive, but it just reeks of marijuana.
I got to
Another-
go to the Disney employee warehouse one time.
Ooh.
Tell me about that. I've heard about it.
Well, you drive. I don't remember where it was. It's a little bit of a drive, and it's literally just like a warehouse.
Okay.
And it's just like, imagine a Costco, but like, quarter the size. And you're just kind of walking up and down these aisles, and stuff's kind of randomly thrown everywhere.
Yeah, you have to like go through everything to
yeah.
look for stuff. Yeah.
It's like going to Yoshi's.
Yeah.
But it's old Disney shirts that never sold and whatever. So it wasn't super exciting. I think
Yeah.
we found like 2 or 3 things that we bought, but that was it.
Don't
Yes.
they have like old Disney ride stuff sometimes too? Or
I don't know. It's possible. I mean, I went there once. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything that was like, whoa, this is cool. It was literally like, here's some old stuffed animals that didn't sell from the Disney stores and some T-shirts. So you kind of understand why it never sold.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And then they probably take that doesn't sell and then turn it back and just, it's a retro shirt. And then they end up selling it for more money that way. Another pro tip, too. Somebody told me you can go down, Harbor Boulevard. If you go down a ways from Disneyland, there's a Target there. And they said that when they went there, they took their kids and they bought all their Disney clothes
the
there because it
Target?
was cheap. And they had a ton of stuff because it was cheap. And then they, and then they had their clothes to go into the park. And they didn't have to buy anything.
yeah, because we'll
it's-
take our kids to Target and Walmart before we go to Disneyland. Just
Yeah.
anyone, because they always carry Disney stuff.
yeah, it's super expensive over there.
We do have, we have to catch up, guys, on a very important part of our show.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
What are we
for
Don's poll.
Yeah, Don.
It's a Thanksgiving poll.
He's got it right
What do
now.
you like to eat?
yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Cranberry.
Is it mashed potato? Is it full? Is it stuffing?
So big.
Turkey leg.
Bread roll. Mac and cheese.
Put it away.
Oh, Don's poll. Did you
say mac and cheese?
It's the mac and cheese.
That makes
I
more
just
sense.
reminded of
Maggot cheese.
the end of that song
Maggot
reminds me of
cheese is
Jackie
good.
Moon
Jackie Moon.
from Semi-Pro, the Will Ferrell movie. He's
I've never
got
seen
the
that.
hit song
Oh,
"Love Me Sexy." Yeah,
So this is an old poll, but we're catching up here. This
old poll,
This
folks.
was called "What is the best Thanksgiving side dish?" We got some votes. Dawn, take it away. So,
all right.
this
We
has
had
got let's see.
choices here. I can't see it, to be honest.
Okay,
it's
we
tilted
had-
away from me.
we
Okay,
go.
there
Let's
we
get a little
go.
bigger.
So it's A. Choice A was green bean casserole. Choice B was sweet potatoes or yams, whatever you call them. Choice C was stuffing. And
Yeah.
stuffing's different depending on who makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some people like it because somebody makes good stuffing. Some people think it's boring because their parents make stovetop or whatever. D, the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Ours were especially good this year. E, rolls.
Yep,
Or
bread
biscuits,
rolls,
whatever you
yeah.
want. Yeah. Or F, mac and cheese, which I've still never had at Thanksgiving.
Where's the
but I'm gonna-
cranberries in the shape of a can?
I like those. I put them in my turkey.
I
I
know,
like
you rub it in turkey
Yeah,
and stuff.
mhm.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. All right.
Don't like
So
it.
I
Trying to
can't
put them
see.
in order. I'm trying to put them in
Okay.
order here. We got
So number one.
I think that's an.
No, we'll count down from
You want to count down from the lowest, to the
lowest.
highest?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So in
That's
last place, is this
actually-
right yet? Max is still
I'm
organizing.
still going
the list.
organizing it. I think this is it. This is
that's it. That you got it.
Yeah. All right.
All right. In 1, 2, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are there 6 choices?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
All
6.
right. In 6th place, with the least number of votes, 'cause
Yes.
I can't see, is green bean casserole.
With number one, it got one
It's
vote.
gross.
Yeah.
One vote.
Actually, no.
Demented
It got
person.
-3 votes.
-3 votes.
Oh,
It's
well, you're
at-
counting the down
Yeah,
votes.
we count down votes. It's
All right.
-3.
-3. Come on.
All right.
Yeah.
In 5th place,
Yes.
mac and cheese.
With one vote.
With one, if you
Okay.
even them out.
Mac
even them
and
out.
cheese.
Yep.
Maggot cheese would have done better.
In 4th place,
With
sweet potato.
Two
Or
votes.
yams. Yep.
Two votes.
After they're evened out.
Robbed.
Yeah.
Coming in 3rd
Fourth.
place. No?
No, third. Third.
Wait, 1, 2, 3. Wait, oh, you're talking about number 4? Are you done number 4 already?
Yeah, we did sweet potatoes or yams. Now we're on to
This is
the gummies
confusing.
you
We
bought.
Oh,
are
third
in
place. You're right.
third
Sorry,
place.
third place.
yeah.
Mashed potato.
With how
Mashed
many?
potatoes.
3
Mashed
votes.
With a total, if
potato.
you take in the pluses and the minuses, a 3.
A
total of
3.
And this, I don't think we should say the totals because it sounds like not very many people
Well,
voted.
yeah,
for
but
us.
you're right. But I want to point out it's
talking about
because when you
hundreds.
have when you have 105 positive and 104 negative, it ends up only like 2 or 3 votes. So
okay.
yeah.
Right. And remember the story of mashed potatoes?
The drooling into mashed potatoes? Yeah.
Our friend, I've had 2 stories of mashed potatoes. My friend James Bush went to Hometown Buffet one time, and there was a very elderly man in front of him in line. And, they got those sneeze guards. It's really hard. Sometimes in the back row, like for me, because I'm tall, it's hard for me to get
get way
around that
in there.
sneeze guard and get.
Yeah.
So this old man completely ducked under the sneeze guard.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
was leaning over to get something in the back row and just
sneezed.
drooled into
Oh.
the mashed
Ah.
potatoes.
Extra flavor.
And so my dad will never eat at buffet again after he heard that story.
No.
I remember a friend of the show, Adam Trujillo, had a funny story of sitting in, something like a diner somewhere. I don't remember which one it was. Lions or something like I don't remember where he was. And there was remember the old booths, especially when they had like smoking, non-smoking, they would have glass partitions.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
from
okay,
booth to
yeah.
booth. And there was this old man with his wife, and I think the old man might have been a little bit senile, a little bit. And he had no teeth on. He had taken his dentures out, and he was just gumming these mashed potatoes. And he kept looking at Adam and staring at him. And his wife was like, Frank, eat your mashed potatoes. Frank.
Oh, my gosh.
So, mashed potatoes. Just some imagery for you.
Well, can we drop it down to the last place?
Yeah.
All right, in second place.
People are taking away their votes right now.
We've got, this is a good choice, the bread roll.
Yes, the bread roll.
My daughter made our rolls this year, and they were delicious.
My family has a tradition of burning them.
No, that's terrible. First place, stuffing.
Yeah.
Which I agree with because I
Yes,
tend to
I do.
only eat stuffing at Thanksgiving. The other ones I can eat mashed potatoes a few times a year, bread rolls, all that stuff. But the stuffing is always special.
There's different.
always
There's
different.
wet stuffing. There's dry stuffing. There's all kinds of different
A lot
types.
of different things in it.
Yeah, yeah. It's always different.
You gotta love those.
I found out that our stuffing that we grew up on is an old German recipe that my grandma brought over from her family from Germany, and my mom learned how to make growing up in Hamburg, Minnesota, with her grandma. So it's delicious.
Yeah, oh my God,
I remember ours too. Ours came from an old box that my great grandpa brought from Europe.
Was it called Stovetop?
Called Stovetop.
Oh, wow.
Stovetop,
And we still use the same box.
I didn't know you were
There's
going.
so much in there. It was a bulk. Yeah.
You know what? I
German
don't mind stovetop stuffing is not gross.
I haven't
don't
had
mind.
it in
Actually, it
years,
isn't
but I feel like
bad.
it's probably
Yeah.
not that bad.
Same
Yeah.
thing with rice-a-roni. When's the last time you had rice-a-roni?
Ooh, it's been a while, but yeah.
Ooh, rice-a-roni's probably good,
It's
right?
the San Francisco treat.
It is.
Yeah, why? Rice from the San Francisco treat.
Because I had a cable car on it.
Is that what that is?
Rice,
They still make rice-a-roni?
It used to be me when I was young.
The
I was
San
a
Francisco treat.
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh, you were San Francisco treat?
Yeah.
So there we go.
Okay.
All
All right,
right.
that was Don Schlick's
There's
bowl.
the
That was the
polls.
polls, folks.
Thanks for voting.
Stuffing's number one.
Cranberries and the
Eat mashed potatoes.
Bread rolls, too.
Eat mashed potatoes.
Is that Aunt Stacy?
Eat your mash.
Is she drunk?
Green
Yeah.
bean casserole.
Lock her up.
Big thumbs
Clothes
up.
on.
Love
Oh,
those
yeah.
green beans.
And we're
Yeah.
Gotta love
So
those green
golden.
beans.
Right.
So many green beans.
Are those natural?
Hey! Ow! Ow! Ooh!
Oh, man. I think I'm
Okay.
still full from Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Full from that conversation.
Hey, speaking of San Francisco, didn't you have a good San Francisco story
This is
there?
an interesting story.
Something
here.
else is the San Francisco treat now.
Yeah. So, have you guys been to San Francisco recently?
No.
I
Avoid it.
will not go there.
All right. So San Francisco is it's full.
Have you been there recently?
It's full of homeless people. Yes.
Well, I went probably 6 or 7 years ago, and that was the first time I had been in a little while. And like most cities, San Francisco's homeless population were in certain
Areas.
and you would see them, but it wasn't. But now, this was 7 years ago, and it's gotten much worse since then. We were in the nice part by like the fancy theaters and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, I tried to get some lunch, and there were so many homeless that they had a program where they would basically homeless could have an appointment time to go sit in, Carl's Jr. or something.
Yeah.
And they had a whole staff that was they had to hire just to care for the homeless. And they would have them on, you could spend 50 minutes in the Carl's Jr. on Tuesday, so these people were lined up to go sit in a booth, at Carl's Jr. So, I mean, it's
bad.
Yeah.
So in the last year or so, they've believe that there's about 7,000 new homeless tents and homes, and it's
These are
around
just
San
new
Francisco.
ones in addition.
You're
to
not
the
talking
old
about
ones.
people. You're talking about just
Wow.
tents.
And so the homeless encampments are really bad in San Francisco. And personal story, we used to do a lot of stuff in San Francisco because we had a couple companies that we did business with there.
And the fancy food show in San Francisco was big.
Yep. That actually, so the last year, Fancy Food has left San Francisco. They've been there for almost 40 years.
Wow.
They just don't go anymore. Now it's in Vegas because San Francisco is just so bad. This incredible candy company used to have a beautiful store on Powell Street right there in San Francisco by the old cable car. Outside, they had this giant golden gummy bear. It was really cool. It was their headquarters.
The homeless people ate it.
It got so bad that they had to eventually take down that gummy bear because it was just people were sleeping behind it, graffitied all over it.
Oh, man.
The inside of their lobby was just always covered with graffiti and homeless people. They ended up shutting down and moving to Denver, just like everybody's just leaving. But so San Francisco, they have been trying to figure out how to deal with the homeless. It's getting so bad. So keep in mind, San Francisco is a homeless like shelter city, right? Like it's everybody can come, a sanctuary city.
Yeah.
But it's gotten so bad that what they've been doing is, this is from a San Francisco Chronicle article. They have been going in and just taking the homeless people's stuff. So, they leave, they go grab their tents and just trash it to make them move on. So the homeless have come together and taken this to court. And the homeless have been saying, well, we need house keys, not handcuffs. You can't just give us a house and then we'll stop being homeless. Help isn't enough. They need houses. Give us homes. Mm-hmm. So I went to a federal judge.
I would love a home in San Francisco.
Give me a home.
That's expensive.
A federal judge has said, hey, you know what, San Francisco, the homeless are right. Because in your own city policies, you have said that you are a sanctuary city and you will provide shelter for the homeless. No. So you are unable to clean up the homeless anymore.
You're on the hook.
Or get rid of their tents or do anything to them. You now, based on your own policies, your own liberal progressive agendas and your policies, you can't do anything. You now owe them all shelters and homes to live in. So San Francisco is now, they can't clear the homeless camps. So it's just getting worse and worse. And the only thing they are allowed to do via their own policies, which has been granted an emergency order, the city is no longer allowed to take away tents or confiscate any belongings or shut down any encampment dwellers in San Francisco. I saw some videos here in San Francisco where they've actually blocked off complete roads right now. They've blocked them off because they're so full of tents. They've blocked them off, and it's now called safe sleeping sections of the city. So whole roads are blocked off. You can't get around anymore because there's so many tents that they can't clean them up. So they've just put barricades around them and called them safe sleeping headquarters.
Wow.
And they can't do anything anymore. So that is what happened.
The police can't do anything. People can't.
You can't do anything.
And the average citizen, I'm sure, could. Where if I had $1 million house, multi-million-dollar house in San Francisco, and I had homeless in front,
I don't think you can.
Because
if they're on your property, maybe.
They'll cancel you.
If they're on your private property, you can do something.
But they'll cancel you if you do anything, too. That's the other thing.
The thing is that people don't... There's something... And addicts understand this. There's something called enabling. When people continue to help you... and I'm talking about the people who are homeless because of drug use. And
here's a picture,
let's be honest, a vast majority. By saying it's okay, come live in our city, but not doing something to correct it, it's just enabling, and it's growing this problem, right?
Yeah.
They're keep continuing to grow. The numbers are continuing to grow. The other thing that's enabling is, and I think it came from a good, they meant well, but this whole thing of, you don't have a job, so the government's going to give you money. Well, it's not just that. I was reading a report. In many places, the money and the benefits you get are more than someone making like $100,000. They're like a six-figure income.
Yeah, I was getting close to there.
Yeah. No, it is. It's over it in many cases in some states. So, and they're saying, wow, we don't know why people aren't going back to the workforce, right? There's no employees. Why would you work when you can make when you can get a six-figure salary and benefits for not working?
Yeah.
It makes zero sense.
Well, I think this is what this is showing here, especially in this city.
Well, and I'm sorry, I just have one example.
Yeah.
In one state, I think it was Vermont, one benefit is for rent. They help you pay rent if you don't have a job. $25,000 a year just for rent.
Wow.
That's one thing. That's not including other benefits that they can get.
Just like health insurance is a big thing, especially in California. And you can get Medi-Cal. You have no copay, and you go there and get treated for everything.
So, they're encouraging people not to work,
Well, I was just going to say, so
instead of encouraging, helping people who are working.
Here's a study. 40% of all workers in the United States can make more unemployed than from their jobs.
Nice.
Yeah.
40%.
And that can't be. I
nuts.
understand helping someone who lost their job and is like trying to find another job. That's one thing. But to actively make it where I'm better off not having a job what are you going to do? That's going to, and is this on purpose? It kind of makes you think it's on purpose.
It is on purpose.
Right?
Well,
it's going to ruin the economy. We're all just going to live on the government.
It's a universal. It's heading towards universal basic income, and where everybody just gets a basic. It's socialism, is all it is.
And we sit around.
And I was going to say this is exactly. This shows you. I mean, San Francisco right here is an exact example of their policies and what they want you. They want you to live in a tent on the street. They don't care. Because it doesn't affect them. People who are making these policies, they'll have you live in it, but that's what it is. And I would love to go to San Francisco and show my daughter, all the neat stuff that when I was a kid and we would go and see, landmarks, and I'm not going there. I'm not taking her there after the, with this nonsense going on. And it started to happen too in during COVID times here in the Valley. I mean, we would see tents along the freeway, and I don't know what how their policy changed. All of a sudden, we don't see them anymore. So I don't know what happened.
Well, I know the mayor, Dyer, is just organizing lots of cleanups and,
But these things don't change, because then they say they want to take like these, hotels downtown or whatever and turn them into, it's like the same thing we talked about before on the show that in LA they were going to, I think they were voting on it. I'm not sure if it went through or not, but they would say that they would give the homeless vouchers, and at a certain time of day they could go to any hotel, upscale, Motel 6 didn't matter. And if they had a room available after like 4 p.m., then they had to give it to that homeless person with the voucher.
Yeah, that's what I want.
And that's, but yeah, like you're saying, that just enables people to do things. They don't doesn't incentivize people to do
get better, to get help.
Get better and to get help.
New York is doing something interesting. The mayor in New York, he is
Eric Adams.
They're basically forcing the homeless to get treatment, sending them to mental health care.
Yeah, because the homeless problem is very diverse, and everybody wants one solution. It's like mentally ill, because we can no longer put them in institutions. It's
drug
addicts, and it's some people who are just down on their luck.
Yes.
Yeah, just
Absolutely.
lost everything.
So you can't just thread them all into one area. Everybody thinks, the homeless, they just want help. But a lot of them don't. They want either the next fix, or they, just like being out on the streets for some weird reason. So it's a very diverse problem that's going to take a lot of solutions.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, and giving them, telling them you're going to give them a home, it's that doesn't solve anything.
I worked hard for my freaking home.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's literally not a home. But even if it's just an apartment or a space, inside, I mean, it's not like that. Like you say, it gives anybody any incentive. Oh, I'm getting a free place, so why should I care, right?
It used to be in the old
why
days,
should I get
you
better?
would just give them a bus ticket to the next town.
Well, that's what they've tried to do. They actually do say, there was an article, I don't have it here, that was talking about how San Francisco was shipping people out.
Yeah, you keep shipping them north, they'll end up in Seattle.
You just ship them somewhere else, and I think that's what's going on around this country. Is people are shipping them to California, and California just kind of shipping. They're just doing this whole movement,
right?
Of shipping people around. But the problem is getting so bad and so worse that they can't hide it like that anymore. That's the problem.
It's really bad. It's really bad right now.
Yeah, because I remember one time, this was like almost like 10 years ago, just about. Took my kids to San Francisco, and we got to see some guy take a poop in the street.
Well, Marty,
awesome.
You and I went on that trip I was talking
to go
about.
See Wicked.
Yes,
yeah.
and
I remember that.
Well, we had a crazy bus driver. That was fun. And yes, that was when we were in the nice part of the city, right by the fancy theater. And we had students that we were in charge of, and it was scary. I mean, I was like,
yeah, you were always around these students because you didn't want these homeless people bothering them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was weird. Kicks, yeah, we went in there to get them food because we were supposed to eat on the wharf, but our bus driver was insane.
Yep.
So we ended up eating in that area by all the theaters. And it was just like all this homeless population all around.
Well,
us.
this is a good experiment to see how far it can push people until they start voting these bad policies out and voting the people that are, that are instilling these bad policies and these cities that are collapsing, because it's just getting worse. It's not getting better.
Well, I just saw California lost another 200,000 people in 2022.
And then they go back east and freeze to death.
And they're all moving to Florida, and Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Texas now has over 30 million people. It's not far behind California. So it's...
Yeah, well, Tennessee would be probably third on that list.
Tennessee, Idaho, all those states. Which
You're the what?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Well,
It's crazy.
my
So I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
Oh, speaking of San Francisco, Twitter, they have a headquarters there, and they actually might move to Austin, right? I think Elon's thinking about moving their headquarters, getting out of there. But also Twitter, you were telling me, Max, there's some other stuff about Twitter going on right now.
Yeah, have you guys...
No, I have not.
You really need to, if you have not hopped on Twitter and read the Twitter files, you need to read the Twitter files. There is, I believe, 8 of them so far, maybe 7 of them.
Where would I find them? On Twitter?
Let's go to Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, they're right there.
What happened is Elon Musk, he just recently said it. He said all of the conspiracy theories that people thought were happening is true. So he took over Twitter. He started looking through everything, and what he did is he just took all the information and sent it to a bunch of journalists. And said,
all the internal
and let's say that these journalists are more like left leaning. These aren't just like right wing wacko journalists.
I would say all
Alex
of them
Jones or
are,
anything. This
right,
is
exactly.
These guys are left leaning journalists.
So far, news coverage on the Twitter files: ABC 0 minutes, CBS 0 minutes, and NBC 0 minutes. That's actual count.
Who they're working for.
And these are things, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. One of the more recent ones is the Twitter files of how Twitter rigged the COVID debate. How they censored information that was true, but the U.S. government asked them not to censor.
To censor.
Oh,
not
to censor.
Release, yeah. That went against their directives that Fauci was putting out.
They purposefully discredited doctors and other experts. They suppressed ordinary users, including people who shared the CDC's own data that discredited more recent stuff.
Now you're saying suppressed.
Well,
I mean,
that happened a lot. The CDC would actually come out.
They would suppress it. You couldn't see their tweets and things. You'd think you were posting it.
Yeah. The CDC, they didn't stop you from posting. You would post it, and then they would just hide it.
But they would also permanently ban people.
100%.
Yeah. But I remember 2 or 3 times during the early parts of COVID, the CDC would come out with something that went against, what we were hearing from the mainstream media about COVID.
And logic.
And then we'd be like, oh, did you see that article? And we'd try to look for it, and it would be gone. Already. Yeah.
And I mean, guys, this is like really important stuff, because remember during all of this stuff, people were saying, yeah, but free speech is free speech. And we would say, yeah, and the free speech, and I always had this argument, which is like, here's the thing. Twitter and these people, they're their own companies, so technically they can do whatever speech they want. My argument was always, though, however, they are saying that they are a not a media company, so all the different rules, but it all changes, because what
free speech platform.
What this proves is that it wasn't Twitter, it was the U.S. government banning free speech. In fact, the U.S. government paid Twitter staff themselves with our own tax dollars I have the actual tweet, over $300 or some odd $1 million paying Twitter staff.
And that's just Twitter.
Out of our tax dollars to go in and do their work of deleting people and censoring people. So we, on our own tax dollars, paid for our own stuff to get censored. That is actually a mass violation of our First Amendment.
Does it tell us who the government is? Who's the person pulling the trigger?
Oh, yeah. You have all the emails.
They have contacts with the CIA, the FBI.
You really
internally with Twitter.
You really need to read. You have to get in here. It has screenshots of the emails.
Yeah.
It shows everything. They had their own portal where the government could communicate with Twitter, and they would flat out say things like, make sure you remove this person. You have to ban this person.
We're concerned about what this person is saying, block them or censor
But you see,
them.
and it's not only, you focus on COVID, but it's not only that. I mean, as these Twitter files are going out, and we were talking about it earlier, that I think a lot of people got this Twitter fatigue because there's just so much information. But it's like with everything that's happened, Hunter Biden, they suppressed it, right?
That's the first Twitter file that came out, I think, was about Hunter Biden.
The first one I think might have been about Hunter Biden was like maybe 6. The first few were about how they purposefully, you should see the ones about Trump, how they banned him and how they spread the ideas that he incited.
Russian collusion.
All of
inciting
that
the violence.
was also,
January 6th,
there is multiple emails between them and government officials saying things like, and also Twitter itself saying, well, look, he didn't violate policies. In fact, based on what he's done, it looks like he's not inciting violence. And then people say, it doesn't matter, make it look like he does.
Yeah.
You'll see all of this.
The one
I did
read all of the I think it was the Hunter Biden one, just because that's the one I happened to read.
That's part 7, FBI and the Hunter Biden laptop.
And that was, Twitter recognized, they're like, well, this might be Russian, misinformation or whatever they tried to say. And then pretty quickly they realized, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But maybe we should proceed like it is. Or, they used the excuse that it was hacked data.
Well, you have to know how that happened, though. This is really insane. So as soon as the guy with the laptop sent the FBI an email saying, hey, I have this, the FBI begins December 2019, reached out, this is a day after that, reached out to Twitter and said, hey, I'm sending you a teleporter link, which is the way they communicate directly with Twitter.
It's a back channel.
To download 10 documents. It's not spam. Please confirm receipt. They sent this to FBI Special Agent Elvis Chan, sends 10 documents to then Twitter's head of site security,
Yoel Roth, right?
Yoel Roth, and says, hey, check this out. Essentially, what all of the information was a bunch of fake information from the FBI telling them, hey, a bunch of new fake information's coming out about the Hunter Biden laptop. So they were telling Yoel Roth, pre-telling a bunch of fake information is going to happen. And then the New York Post, a couple hours later, releases all the real information. Yoel Roth has just gotten a bunch of stuff saying, oh, well, hey, this is all going to be fake. And then they kept on pointing and saying, this is all going to be fake. This is all going to be fake.
Well, and they use there's a policy they're not supposed to use hacked data or something like that.
Hack and leak.
Hack and leak data. So that's what they kept saying. And it was funny that there was a Democratic senator or congresswoman, I don't remember, and she was like, this looks like we're infringing on the First Amendment. Like, we shouldn't probably do this, right? She was talking back to, and she was a Democrat, like talking back at Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, this is another one. After they kept on pointing out that, remember when they were saying that the Hunter Biden thing is all because of Russian foreign accounts who are posting fake stuff? Twitter, there's an exact email from Twitter to the FBI saying, we haven't seen any evidence to support that claim. In fact, our review thus far shows this is a false claim with a small-scale domestic troll effort of maybe 34 accounts. Like, nothing.
Yeah.
And then it just comes up and says, voters are being targeted in a disinformation campaign from a 2016 Russian playbook. Like, completely fake. It's incredible. You need to read these files.
Yeah.
I mean, it full-on shows that the government was working with people to censor our speech, to including from COVID to elections to just basic information. It's really insane.
Well, and the other thing
why do you think there's such a backlash on Elon Musk? All he says is, I believe in free speech. I'm going to stop censoring, and they hate him.
That's why they were worried about him getting Twitter. I mean, that's why now you see. But I was going to say, for people out there listening, I mean, yeah, that's fine. Don't take our talking about it here, as truth. Go to Twitter, and like Max says, I mean, it's all there, and take the time to read it yourself, because you're not going to get this on mainstream.
It's insane.
They're not talking about this at all.
It blows my mind that this sort of incredible, like, we literally have emails on Twitter showing that the government, our own government, is censoring our speech.
We basically live in China already.
Yeah. We have emails.
Live in China, Russia.
Have proof that the government is paying companies to censor us.
And not only that, though,
and we're not
to
talking
control
about
what we
not
see
only
here.
that, Max, we're also finding out that they have ex-FBI and CIA and other governmental agencies, ex-workers that are working in these companies. I mean, they're infested with these guys. I mean, obviously Elon took out Baker, right? He was the head of the FBI at one time. Do you remember him?
John Baker.
Yeah.
And he was their security at some point too. So I mean, it's a total collusion between these companies and the government.
Is this why crazy Elon Musk went through and fired everyone at Twitter?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. He wanted to make sure that all this information wasn't being deleted.
You don't hear that in the media. You just hear, oh, crazy Elon fired all these people on Twitter and wants them to work really
And no one
hard.
seems to care about all the people getting fired at Meta and Amazon and, Yeah,
it's just like, why are we prosecuting these people?
Twitter's head executives was ex-CIA who was working with CIA through
Oh, my God.
through their digital dashboard to work on information.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff is huge. Like, huge.
Yeah, like you said, it should be running 24/7 on the. I mean, this is news.
This is the biggest news this is huge. This is bigger than
The
Watergate.
biggest story probably in our lifetime. Yeah, this
the
is
government
bigger than Watergate.
actively violating our First Amendment.
And they still try to tell us that January 6th is bigger than Watergate, but yet they have it right here in front of their face, and then they just say nothing.
A key issue of the First Amendment is a free press. You learn about that. It's almost like the fourth branch of government is the free press.
Yeah.
What's it supposed to do? Be a check on governmental power.
Yep.
It's supposed to report abuse of governmental power. That's one of the main tenets of a free society. So this is proving we no longer had a free society.
Yeah, it's gone.
Our government was controlling what we could say, what we could know, what we could hear.
Paying people on platforms to take away our information
with our money.
It's insane. Anyways, it's huge. You guys need to just take the time, go on Twitter, sign up, and keep in mind these aren't crazy right-wing people. These are for the most part, people who came from very left-leaning media companies.
Yeah.
But left the New York Times because
you're talking major, like you're saying, major, like New York
Barry
Times.
Weiss. I'm talking, these are big people.
Matt Taibbi.
Yes, these are really legit. The big other one is how they rigged the COVID debate. That's a big one that came out on.
Your other guy, what's his name? Schellenberger.
Yeah, Schellenberger had one.
Yeah.
And the argument that you get now from people who want to censor speech is, well, if you don't censor speech, there's misinformation, and that's dangerous. You know what's more dangerous? How about not censoring speech? There will be misinformation, but you can counter that with the right information, let people make a decision instead of, well, we have to control what everybody sees and hears. That is far more dangerous.
Oh, right.
Because imagine for these people who think it's okay, what if Trump takes power again and he starts controlling all the information that you see and hear? They don't think down the road. It's ridiculous.
No, it's always about what's good for right now, what's going to get me power right now.
Yep. You got the other good one is Matt. I forget his name. Matt Taibbi.
Matt Taibbi, yeah.
Yeah. His Twitter files, which is just called Twitter, the FBI subsidiary, which literally shows you how they were it was. I mean, that Twitter was just a tool of the FBI.
Yeah.
That's all.
And that really plays against the narrative that Trump was this fascist dictator. His own government was colluding against him.
His own government.
The whole time he was in office.
That's why he couldn't get a lot of stuff done. Yeah. But not only Twitter. I mean, we're talking YouTube now. We're talking
all of them.
Facebook. All these organizations.
Keep
it's
in
all
mind,
the same.
That's just the one because Elon's releasing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Think about what they're doing with Google information. Mm-hmm. Think about what they're doing with Google search. Think about, that's just a social network. Mm-hmm. Imagine what they're doing with search engines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, my God.
Yeah.
But in Disney news, you don't hear about any of this. So they want to do scare you, COVID, the war in Ukraine, all this other.
Yeah, all I'm hearing about on mainstream news is Trump released NFT cards, and I'm like, what, guys? The government
this new GOP elect who lied on his resume.
Right.
Said he went to graduated from a school and he didn't.
Right.
That's the number one
news.
Never mind that Biden literally lies in almost every speech.
Yeah.
Says
every
he
speech.
did something that didn't happen.
That's good old Uncle Joe.
It's just Uncle Joe. He forgot or he's embellishing. Okay.
There's Barry Weiss's big part about how one of the things they banned Trump on. About how he must consider how Twitter deals with other heads of state. One of the things they said was because he violated terms of hate speech. And then she goes, well, let's look at other people. For instance, they still haven't deleted the Ayatollah Khomeini, who still has this on his Twitter. Our stance against Israel is the same stance we have always taken. Israel is a malignant, cancerous tumor in the West Asian region, and it has to be removed and eradicated. It is possible, and it will happen. The Great Return. That's still on Twitter.
What did Trump supposedly say that was supposed hate speech? Or what did he say that was supposedly hate speech?
Oh, there's nothing. They couldn't find anything on here.
Yeah.
Literally the emails
they just
are them
banned
saying,
him and said he violated hate speech.
Yeah, they say you have to find something. Prove it. This guy says, this is another staffer agreed, quote, we don't see an incitement angle here. I don't see the incitement of fear that you're saying. How could we say this? I don't see the incitement of fear. What could be trying to incite fear? I think we'd have a hard time saying this is incitement. It's pretty clear he's saying the American patriots are the ones who voted for him and not the terrorists. We can call them that, right? I mean, this is them literally saying, how do we do this? And then you have somebody saying, I see blank has pinged us, which is just, they did block out this person's name from the FBI, has pinged us and asked us about saying, what incitement can we show for the Donald J. Trump tweet? And they want to see if we can align on one. And they're like, well, we can't. And then they just keep on saying. The way they said it was that when Donald Trump said American patriots, he was trying to make people rise up. And they're like, well, no, very clearly it's not seeing incitement here. This is it. Look at this. It's pretty obvious he's going to try to thread the needle. This is an email in Twitter's. The last sentence. We have to do the right thing here and ban this account.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree with you. This should be
This guy says, but it's taken us 3 years to try to ban his account. We haven't been able to. I've lost faith.
Well, the January 6th, that's when he finally, that was his last tweet, right? During the January 6th. So that's when that's when they were able to say that he incited violence by that. Yeah, no, you're right. This is the biggest news story.
There's a dissenter inside Twitter who then got fired, who said, maybe because I'm from China, I deeply understand how censorship can destroy the public conversation, and we shouldn't do this.
You're gone.
That person's gone.
See ya.
That person appears to have been a distinct minority within the company across Slack channels. Many employees were upset that they didn't ban him earlier. I mean, it's really incredible. Read the files. It's mind-numbing. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us today. Check it out. Go on Twitter. Great place. We're on Twitter.
This is going to be one of those things I do a dive on, and it hurts me like everything else.
Oh, it's gonna hurt you hard.
It's gonna blow your
I think
mind.
there's 7 Twitter files right now. Read them. Dig into them. It's gonna really. It's gonna make you not trust anything.
Make my brain bleed again.
I mean, it's gonna 100% make you say, I do not trust the media, the government. Or anything I read on the internet.
Which you should anyway.
You can't trust it. I mean, this proves it.
Always look it up for yourself. Always look up the facts for yourself.
Yeah,
research it.
Definitely don't look it up on the internet because you can't trust that. Thank you everybody for tuning in. 5 stars and all that stuff. More importantly, tell your friends, subscribe, and do leave us a review. All that helps. But probably the most important thing is just say, tell one friend. This is a great show, and
those friends tell one friend, and
that's all we need.
Friends tell one friend.
Yep, and then if you do find it in your heart, every dollar does help us. You can even do $1 a month on
value
No
for
Focus
value
Radio.
here. That's right.
So that does help us. So I'm begging you at this point.
Keep the lights
Thank
on.
you. Appreciate it, everybody. Thank you so much. Adios.
See ya.